Okay, hello and a very warm welcome to Dial a Tutor. My name is Witness, and today we are going to learn one of the most writing or useful writing skills in the whole of IELTS exam. How to write a brilliant writing task 1 report. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, before we begin, let me share some good news with you. Task 1 is not about being a naturally gifted writer. It is about following a clear method. Once you've learned the method, you can use it on any chart, any graph, any diagram the examiner gives you. It works every single time. By the end of this lesson, you know exactly what to write, in what order, which words to use. So get a pen and some paper ready because you're going to practice as we go along. All right, so let's begin. Now, we are going to look into the learning objectives of this lesson, and you need to be in a very good position to master the 4 goals on our screen. So the first objective is you have to understand the task. As you can see, understanding the task. What is really task 1 asking you to do, and just as importantly, what is it not asking you to do? Many students lose marks simply because they misunderstand the job. Secondly, you master the structure. Every good task 1 answer follows the same shape. There is an introduction. You have to master that structure. There is an overview. There are 2 body paragraphs. Once this shape is in your head, you will never stare at a blank page again. So understand that you're going to have an introduction, an overview, body paragraphs. Then thirdly, you build data vocabulary. So you are going to be using, trends, comparison, and approximate language. The special words we use to describe numbers going up, going down, or staying the same. And then the fourth aspect, you need to know how to avoid the common mistakes. You learn the common mistakes so you can avoid them before they ever cost you marks. Keep these 4 goals in mind, and as we move through the lesson, everything we do today will connect back to them. All right. Now let's have a look at what is IELTS Academic Task Writing Task 1. Now, what we do have here is now let's ask ourselves the question. So exactly what is task 1? Now, here is the single most important sentence of this whole question. What is writing task 1? Task 1 is a report. It's not an essay. So as we read along, the task 1 is a data report, not an essay. You are given a visual, a chart, graph, table, a diagram, or map, and asked to summarize the main features that make comparisons where relevant. You report the information. You do not give opinions, causes, or recommendations. You are more of like a journalist. You don't come on with your own theories. You work with the facts that you're given. Now, looking at length, the minimum that you are supposed to work with is a minimum of 150 words. So the instructions will mostly be saying write at least 150 words, and you mustn't spend more than 20 minutes. All right. Now, we are supposed to look at what's at the bottom here. So finally, at the bottom of the slide, you can see how the examiner marks you. There are 4 criteria, each worth a quarter of your score. Task achievement. In other words, did you answer the question and cover the key features? We have coherence and cohesion. Obviously, is your writing organized and well linked? Lexical resource. In other words, we are looking at your vocabulary. Then there is also grammatical range and accuracy. In other words, it's just your grammar. So today's lesson will definitely help you cover all of the 4. Okay, now let's proceed. Let's have a look at what we may be given. The visuals you may be given. So sometimes they will give you a bar chart which compares quantities across categories, a line graph which shows changes over time. You will see a line rising and falling across the years. A table gives you exact figures in rows and columns. A pie chart, as you can see, will give you a whole divided into slices. A process diagram which shows stages in a sequence from start to finish, perhaps maybe how chocolate is made, and so on. And a map that shows how a place has changed from time to time. You often see probably a question with a map of a school or of a museum, of a library area, and maybe how it has changed maybe after 20 years. And you're supposed to be in a position where you can use the right vocabulary lexical resource to paint a picture of what would have happened. Now, we get to look at one of the most important aspects of this presentation, the 4-part report structure. All right. Now, just like any composition that you were taught to write in high school, it will be having an introduction. It will have probably body paragraphs and maybe a conclusion. So in this case, however, we do have a 4-part structure. You have to have an introduction, 1 or 2 short sentences paraphrasing the question. In other words, you are just going to say what the visual shows, where and when, because definitely there's going to be dates labeled. There's going to be perhaps maybe it could be from a particular country or from a particular school. Then the next paragraph shouldn't also be long. It describes the main trend. Okay, it describes the main trend. So part 2, which is the overview, and notice it is highlighted in yellow on your screen because it is the paragraph the examiner looks for first after the introduction. The overview gives a big picture, the main trend, or the biggest contrasts. And here is the golden rule: no detailed numbers in the overview. If your report has no overview, your task achievement score hits a ceiling, no matter how good the rest is. So it's very important that you look at that. Now, body paragraph 1, the first group of data with figures and comparisons. And then we also have body paragraph 2, the second group of data with figures and comparisons. Okay, so to help you remember all this, here is a classroom rule. Say it with me: describe, compare, and summarize. Describe, compare, summarize. You describe what you see, you compare the important things, and you summarize the big picture. Keep that little chant in your head, and you will not have any problems in the exam. Now, let's have a look at how we can put this into practice. Because yes, indeed, if I can go backwards, if I had to go backwards, you would see that we started off with the introduction, and then we have this introduction. We are now here. Now, in the exam, they can give you this picture, and you need to have an idea to paraphrase. So you see, the chart shows the number of students enrolled in 3 subjects between 2018 and 2023. So your introduction is supposed to be paraphrased here in blue. This is how you're supposed to write your introduction. For example, the bar chart illustrates how many students studied 3 different subjects over a 6-year period from 2018 to 2018. So your introduction probably is to tell us what happened, maybe when, where, and maybe this is for a particular school. If it was named, then you'd mention the name of the school. The bar chart illustrates or shows how many students enrolled for 3 different subjects at Pelandaba Primary School or Pelandaba Polytechnic or Pelandaba High School over a 6-year period from 2018 to 2018. That's your introduction. Illustrates, shows the number of students enrolled, and then you mention when the period. Now, let's go to our model overview. Now, model overview. Remember, the overview is the one that states the main trend. State the main trend or biggest contrasts. Begin with a clear signal. Overall, it is clear that. Do not include detailed numbers, say figures for the body. 2 sentences are usually enough. No overview. A serious loss of marks for task achievement. So if there is no overview, there is going to be a serious loss. So let's have a look at this information. You can clearly see that the information is from 2018 across 3 subjects. There is a key there, as you can see, up until 2023. Now, what are you going to say? You could possibly say overall. You look for the biggest trend. Do you see that the sciences are gradually increasing? Do you see that mathematics almost remains the same above 300? But you can clearly see that the arts are on the decline. So, model overview. Overall, school enrollment in science rose steadily while the number of students in arts declined. Mathematics remained the most popular subject for most of the period. So notice trends, rankings only. Notice on that. It's trends and rankings, no figures. Take note of that. That is your overview. All right. Now let's proceed. The body paragraphs, this is where the fun starts. All right. With the body paragraphs, we have, for instance, we can clearly see it's still the same presentation. All right. You have to group the data. Do not just describe numbers to say in 2018 mathematics was about 320. In 2019 mathematics was also about the same. In 2020 you have to then group the data. All right. Make sure that maybe if you're going to write in more than 2 body paragraphs, each paragraph covers one logical group. All right. Maybe you can talk about the decline in the those that increased. So for example, include selected figures, units and years. Also compare within each group at first, higher than, whereas, in contrast. All right. So if we can compare within each group. We can mention maybe that at the very beginning you can group the subjects according to mathematics, or you can group according to years. But in this case we can say, for instance, mathematics remained almost the same. The enrollment for mathematics was mostly the same throughout, above 300, whereas science enrollment for science, we are going to look into this. You can then mention that science enrollment for science increased over the years, from maybe less than 200 students to about 350 students at the end of 2023. Okay. Then over here you are supposed to link sentences with time. For instance, maybe by 2023 you have to use the with time language, by 2023, over the period, or subsequently. Now let's have a look at the model paragraph here. In 2018, mathematics attracted the highest enrollment at roughly 320 students, whereas science began the period with just under 200 students. Science then climbed steadily each year, reaching approximately 350 students by 2023, at which point it overtook mathematics. You see? So now you can then get to say, in contrast, arts followed the opposite trend, falling from around 250 students to just over 150 by the end of the period. Okay, so it's very important that you are able to use that kind of language. We now have figures there. Now let's go on to vocabulary that helps us describe those trends. So for instance, if you want to describe what happens going up, and you have increase or increased, rise or rose, grow or grew, climb, climbed, and you've got your vocabulary there. Going down, decline, fall, drop, dipped, slumped. There is more. You can even research more words to use for when something is going down. When there is no change, you could mention remained stable, leveled off, remained unchanged. Do you see the words that you're supposed to use? Fluctuate, perhaps when things are going up and down. I should have probably indicated here, going up and then going down. Very erratic, that's a fluctuation there. Okay, now add degree adverbs for precision: slightly, increased, slightly, marginally, gradually, steadily. If there is a sharp rise, maybe significantly, sharply, dramatically. All right. Now, making comparisons. So we have here what we have. You could mention higher than, lower than, whereas, while, compared with, in contrast, similarly, by far the largest, and then smallest. Proportion language. We have accounted for, made up, represented, comprised, largest share, smallest proportion, and for instance, why and followed opposite trends. Okay, so you could mention in terms of proportion language, where you've got pie charts. You could say maybe if there is housing, money used for housing, housing accounted for about 50% of the budget, and then you can mention that maybe you could mention something else that was the largest share. If something was very small or allocated a small portion, then you can say maybe entertainment had the smallest proportion, and so. But this will take time, a little bit of time with practice and with practice. Okay, now moving on. We have vocabulary for approximation in time, and guess what? We will be adding these more and more as we get to practice. You've got about, around, roughly, approximately, just over, just under, nearly, almost, time language, for instance, because you want to compare maybe from 2018 to 2023. So you can say from maybe 2018 to about 2023, or over the period. You see now, in the first year, at the beginning, by the end of the period afterwards, and subsequently. So good task 1 writing is precise, comparative, and neutral. The data language actually beats nice English. There is no need for you to use a lot of ammunition when describing data. Okay. Now we have to then look into the next section, common mistakes that one must avoid. Common mistakes that may cost marks. For instance, we do have these ones where we get to look at. All right, I think I may have skipped that, but I can't go back in this presentation because it's locked for forward. Hence, you will get to see them as I send the PDF, or for those who have signed up for lessons, you will get to see the PDF. Now, let's have a look at the common mistakes that cost marks later at some point. But now, let's have a look at the first example, which is the bar chart. What we do have here is student enrollment by subject 2018 to 2023. All right. So what are you being asked? You have to look for the highest and lowest figures in each year, which subject rise, which subject fall, the most noticeable change. So the first aspect, obviously, is to then mention what the picture shows, because they will ask you to describe. So in this case, you could mention, I think we still have what we have, bar chart here. So you could then mention that the bar chart shows enrollment by students over a 6-year period from 2018 to 2023 at a particular school if the name is provided. Okay, and the model overview is the one that we're now looking at. Overall, which is the second paragraph, students in science rose steadily while the number of students in arts declined. Mathematics remained the most popular subject, one of the most popular subjects for most of the period. As you can see, mathematics was the popular subject up until perhaps in 2022, when it was overtook, or when science overtook mathematics in 2022. Okay. Line graph, for instance, let's have a look at the model overview. The line graph, you can see the line graph shows electricity use in gigawatts from 2000 to 2020. You see that in a particular town. Maybe you can mention the line graph shows electricity use in the town of, then you mention the town's name from the year 2000 to 2020. You can also say the line graph shows electricity use in a town over the 20-year period from the year 2000 to the year 2020. So that's what happens there. Then your model overview will be like, overall electricity consumption increased gradually at first. As you can see, we have about a segment maybe from 2000 to 2012. We can say that this was a gradual use of electricity. Then the electricity use rose sharply or significantly from 2012 to 2016 and leveled off from 2016 to 2000 to 2020. So overall electricity consumption increased gradually at first, then rose sharply after 2012 before leveling off near the end of the period. So this will obviously be your second paragraph. Now let's have a look at pie charts. So definitely, if it's your introduction, you can then mention that the pie charts show information on how spending or how a family spent its money or income in the year 2005 compared to the year 2025. That's it. That's your introduction. Then you go to your second paragraph, which is the model overview, which is very important because one of the most important. Then you're looking for trends. Then you can say overall housing, as you can see. Let's have a look at housing. Housing was 35, and then now in 2025, 38. Housing took the largest share in both years. So indeed, housing was the largest, while spending and entertainment increased noticeably by 2025. You can see that spending was 8%, but it increased. Entertainment was 8%, but doubled by 2025. And that's the entertainment, I think. Yes. And then now we have spending on entertainment. Yes, indeed, it's just spending only. So if I can redo this, you would rather say overall, housing took the largest share. It's something that is very noticeable in both years. But then we can see that it's the spending on entertainment that took, the most, that had the most noticeable increase. All right. Key lesson points. Remember, writing task 1 is a report, not an essay. So here, what are you doing? You are summarizing and comparing. No opinions. The structure is fixed: introduction, overview, 2 body paragraphs every time. You can make with that. Overview is essential. Main part first, details second. No numbers in the overview. Right. Group data. You select key features, you compare. Never list every figure. Use data language. Watch the clock. Okay, so that's how we go on about it. Now it's your turn. We have this question, and perhaps you are supposed to press pause and you look into the question. All right. Task question. The bar chart below shows the number of books borrowed from a community library by 4 age groups in 2 different years, 2010 and 2025. Now you've got the age groups: under 18, 18 to 34, 35 to 54, 55 and over. All right. And then in blue, you've got 2010, in yellow, 2025. So it's just comparing the number of books perhaps taken by the under 18s in 2010 and in 2025. The number of books borrowed by the age group 18 to 34 in 2010 and in 2025. And so write a report for a university lecturer describing the information. Write at least 150 words. Make sure you spend about 20 minutes tops, and at least 150 words. Plan, of course, for not more than 3 minutes. So obviously, your guiding question before you write: which age groups borrowed the most books in both years? Which age groups changed the most? Did any age group increase whilst another decreased? What overall trend can be observed? All right. And you can then pause and try and attempt this question on your own. So homework and practice: you have to complete that report, finish the community library task and submit it for marking. Do the vocabulary bank, record 10% verbs, 5-degree verbs with your own example sentences. Rephrase, practice, of course. Rewrite 3 task 1 questions in your own words, which maybe perhaps will be given to those who signed up for classes. And overview drills: find any chart online and write a 2-sentence overview. No numbers allowed. But anyway, what I want for submission is the report in the previous slide. Well done. You are done with the first lesson on writing task 1. We'll be preparing more on these, and we'll be perfecting the lesson. So let me leave you with this thought. Task 1 rewards method over inspiration. Structure never changes, which means every single chat you practice makes you faster, calmer, and more confident. Your band score is built 1 practice at a time. If you have any questions, or when your practice report is ready for marking, you can submit it and contact me. The number and email are on your screen. 263 777 992 527. Thank you for learning with me today. Keep practicing, believe in your progress, and I will see you in the next lesson. And from me at Dal Etuta, nurturing brilliant minds, goodbye for now.